Hi, my name's Diane and this is Growing in the Garden. Today we've got the Impatiens, which are wonderful flowers, but they only last for a very short amount of time, probably 2 to 3 weeks only. But when they do flower, look how bright and colourful they are. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Hi, my name's Diane and we're back with Growing in the Garden. We're talking about the African lily and it's really cool, beautiful flowers. So I was thinking I would water it a lot, but the amount of water, it actually collapsed, which is really funny. So don't water them too much, otherwise they collapse. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you. We're back with Growing in the Garden. My tip for the day is for the lemon tree. They're not very big at the moment, but if you keep watering them every time I grow lemons, they seem to appear out of nowhere and they're quite big. They're growing really well. They turn yellow and then they're ready for harvesting. Oh, yum! Lemonade. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you. We're back with Growing in the Garden. Today's tip is the Rose of Sharon. This is a fantastic plant, but the one thing I hate about it is that it grows like wildfire. So if you like having big bushes, fantastic, or otherwise you need to trim it probably twice a year to make it look as fantastic as it does. Subscribe to the channel. We're back with Growing in the Garden. Today's tip is for my strawberries. Strawberries are fantastic for any time of the year, but I love them especially because about 2 months ago I started eating them, so I've had them there for a couple of months and now they're going to be fruiting again to give me the second round of strawberries, so that's fantastic. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Welcome back to Growing in the Garden. Today's tip is for the hydrangeas. They grow fantastically well, but they last for quite some time. I reckon for 2 or 3 months they would flower. So the tip for the day is just look at them. They are fantastic. Subscribe. Hi, it's Diane and we're Growing in the Garden. Today we've got our Pahurakawa tree and it's great. Do you know what I use it for? I use the red flowers to make cards with and so it's wonderful. Really interesting and so delightful to have that just outside my window. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you. We're back with Growing in the Garden. This azalea is wonderful. They're bright yellowish sort of flowers. They turn a bit of different colour. They're sort of an orangey yellowy colour and they're quite fantastic to just be sitting there. They last about 2 or 3 months, so that's fantastic. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Hi, my name's Diane and today we're Growing in the Garden again. So what we've got here are kumara. Now kumara grows really slow for the first couple of months, but all of a sudden out of nowhere they seem to what I call explode. They grow really large. They grow along the fence line or along the front lawn area as well. And as you can see, they're progressing in height. So what I found is the roots down at the base is what produces the fruit. So in the end, you're going to get kumara growing underneath the soil and it's growing really well. So it should turn out something like this. Subscribe to the channel. We're back with Growing in the Garden. Today we are talking about the lily. This lily in particular grew from nothing. I actually had the pot with nothing in it, and then these grew out of nowhere. They only last for a couple of weeks, but look how bright and colourful they are. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Hi, it's Diane and we're growing in the garden. Today's tip is for my ferns, which is growing really well. What I remember is you always trim off any brown leaves that are growing on it, just because any brown leaves will not promote growth. So that's something you definitely have to do, is trim off any brown leaves. Subscribe to the channel. Hi, my name's Diane and it's growing in the garden. Today we're talking about lace cap hydrangeas. The tip for the day is to add mulch to retain moisture. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Hi, my name's Diane and it's growing in the garden. Today's tip is for the feijoa tree. I find that it's very good to have two trees growing on the same garden. So I've actually planted another one last year. So it's growing well, but only growing small at the moment. So when it grows bigger, hopefully they will cross-pollinate each other. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Hi, my name's Diane and we're back with growing in the garden. Today we're talking peas. Look at these peas. They are wonderful. They're growing really well and they have lots and lots of flowers on them. The best tip is when you're picking them, pick them when they're young, and then you can produce lots more fruit. Subscribe to the channel. Hi, my name's Diane and today we're growing in the garden. I've got these grapes. Now the grapes are growing really well. They've actually almost gone to the top of the trellis fencing, but there's no fruit on them. I don't know why. If anybody would let me know why there is no fruit on them yet. It may still be not the season for it yet, or it may be they will die off and come back next year and fruit like crazy. Subscribe to the channel. Hi, my name's Diane and we're growing in the garden. Today we're talking about cucumbers. They're growing really well. They need lots and lots of water, so I usually water them twice a day, and they grow really well. Look how cool these cucumbers are. Subscribe to the channel and have a look to see what else I'm growing in my garden. Hi, my name's Diane and today it's growing in the garden. Today we're talking about tomatoes. So I only like the very little tomatoes, so the sweet 100s they're called, and they're growing really well. So the tip I would really like to tell you is that when you grow them, if you see them starting to turn red, you pick them probably pretty quickly. Otherwise, they won't let the other tomatoes grow red as well. So stay tuned to the channel and see what other things I've got coming up. Thank you. Hi, my name's Diane and we're growing in the garden. Today we're talking gerberas. The gerbera that I've got in the garden at the moment, there's actually two of them. They're beautiful, but what I was thinking was that we're pulling off all the dead leaves and dead flowers. The reason for it is once they start to die, they go pretty quickly, and it means they can't nourish the really good ones that are still being left on the tree. So you look at the flower and it looks healthy because the other dead ones have been picked off. So subscribe to the channel and have a look to see what else we've got growing in the garden. Thank you. Hi, it's Diane and we're growing in the garden. Today we're talking about passion fruit. It's growing really well on the fence line, but in my first year we grew it on where the garden part is, and it wasn't growing very well. So we moved it to be along the trellis on the back where the fence line is, and it's growing really, really well. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Hi, it's Diane and we're back with growing in the garden. My Mexican heather, they grow really, really well, but I had to stop watering them for a little while, and that's why it actually ended up dying. But look at it now, it's growing with lots of roots, which is fantastic. The tip for the day is to water that lots, as in lots, as in probably twice or 3 times a week, and look really good. Subscribe to the channel. Hi, my name's Diane and today we're growing in the garden. I've got in front of me Nandina, and it's growing really, really well because I've put it in full sun. So make sure when you plant your plants that you have a look at the instructions to see this particular one is full sun and it's growing really, really well. So subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Hi, my name's Diane and we're growing in the garden. Today we're talking spring onions. Spring onions are growing really, really well. They have only just been planted, so they're lying flat at the moment. They normally spring back into life after a few days, so that's fine. And they need to be separated as well. But when you grow them, they have to be further down in the soil. So I plant them probably about 4 or 5 centimeters down in the soil to get the most white bit when they're growing. So subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Hi, my name's Diane and we're growing in the garden again. Today's tip is it's for sweet corn. Now I've grown these in the past and they've grown really, really well. So my tip for the day is make sure you leave enough space for them to grow. They need to have 1.5 meters of space because they grow up and up and up, and they will almost reach the fence line, which is quite surprising for corn, but picking them is wonderful. So subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Hi, my name's Diane and we're growing in the garden. My tip for the day is a hibiscus flower. They grow really, really well. Look how bushy the leaves are at the moment. It's growing so well because I planted 2 ones along the fence line and they grow really, really well. Even though my car goes and butts up against them, it still seems to be that they grow so well. So thank you and subscribe to the channel. Hi, it's Diane and we're growing in the garden. Today we're talking capsicums. They're growing quite slowly at the bottom of the garden. So you can see that this plant is very, very small in stature. It's been eaten a little bit, which is really horrible, but that's what it is. This plant, however, see, this one is really, really good. The reason why I planted it closer to where I am. So if in future I plant plants, I would need them to be closer to me to get my inspiration so they grow better. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Hi, it's Diane and we're growing in the garden. Today I've got a gerbera that we've got from a garden centre, and it's almost, see, it's kind of half dead, and it's not really reviving. I've tried watering it and all that sort of stuff, and the leaves are growing really, really well underneath. So what I'm thinking is I cut off all the dead flowers, and I repot it into the garden, which is wonderful. And then, lo and behold, it should spring back to life. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Hi, it's Diane, and we're growing in the garden. See how much water is coming down at the moment? There's only one thing for it, and that is my plants. Fantastic how I don't have to water them because they are growing really, really well with the pelting of rain at the moment. We've got torrential rain. It's only January, which is very unusual, but it's getting watered loads, which is fantastic. I've got sweet corn at the back and spring onions in the front. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Hi, my name's Diane, and we're growing in the garden. Today we're talking flowers. So this flower has been cut off the tree about 4 weeks ago. So how cool. It's slowly drying, so that's really, really cool. The next one along is one of those, but it's 4 weeks on from that, so 8 weeks, and it's drying really, really well. So it should turn out like this. That has been dried, this has been dried for about a year. So it was done last year, and I've used loads of it from different ephemera. And it looks so nice on cards and journaling and things like that. So if you want to go from that, move over to that, and end up with that, you just subscribe to the channel. Thank you.